Hello, hello, everybody. So it's starting. Okay, we are live. Perfect. How is everybody tonight? I am doing pretty good. Shoulder's doing pretty good today, surprisingly. Was hurting yesterday. I was cleaning. Well, I cleaned Saturday. So, anyways, we're gonna be doing this cute little bunny. See if I can get him to focus a little bit. He's got a little bunny cookie, like, you know, the Grandma Susie cookies kind of thing, or the Loft House cookies. That's what I went for with this guy. So, while y'all are hopping on, let me pull these comments up here. Okay, colors we're using, always black and white. I'm using light ivory. This is called bamboo. Yellow. Our pinks are Think Pink and Fuchsia, Electric Lime, and Paradise and GP Purple. We'll be using a little bit of median and Mod Podge, of course, and of course, you know me, we got to do some glitter. That was the sign we painted the other night, or last week, the door hanger version. I love how he turned out. And I'm also going to be using blush. This comes from, ooh, I got red paint on me. This comes from the dollar store. It is Sweet Cheeks. Oops. And we're going to add just a little bit of blush to his, probably his ears, his cheeks, and kind of his little belly area. So anyways, let's get started. Hey, Linda, how are you? Thanks for hopping in. And let me flip you guys down. Okay. Oops, let me get this table here. Alrighty. So, first things first, we are going to use my well-loved plates. Actually, no. Let me grab a new plate. Good. Oh, I'm so glad. Alright. So, I like using foam plates, just so y'all know. I know that they're not as great for the environment, but it doesn't dry out my paint, and it keeps it a little bit more pliable. Where the paper plates will kind of, it pulls the paint in and dries it a little bit more. So this is that light ivory. This is going to be white, and then, whoa, as it spits up on me. Okay. Careful with that guy. He likes, I'm like terrified it's gonna shoot everywhere. Okay, and then we're gonna use some of my median. It's starting to get low, but you know, every bit counts. So busy week, girl. You telling me? My youngest, my Haley, she just started doing softball. There we go. That's that word. And so that's 2 days a week, and then my PT is 2 days a week, and then, yeah. So I get you, girl. I get life. It sucks. So what we're going to do, this brush is just a little too big for my liking. Hold on 1 second. Nope, those ones are too big. Yep, this one will work. Okay, so this is a 3/8 of an angle brush that I'm using. I was just getting this stem a little bit wet. All right, so I'm going to take the light ivory, get the tip of that, and then the white we're going to get at the end. Now, I did do 2 coats on this bunny because I knew he was going to basically be white. Otherwise, I would have just done 1 little primer set coat. Okay, and what we're doing is we're just kind of giving him dimension with that light ivory. Okay. And I know this can be a little bit harder to see. Let me see if we can get a little bit more ivory here. There we go. All right. Just gonna kind of get right here. And we're just kind of going right around where his fur is. Hold on. Not liking, there we go. Now I'm getting a good tone. So this is just giving a nice good shading to his ears. kind of giving him a little more dimension, because when you paint with white, it sometimes just really flattens out your painting. So adding just a little bit of shading to it really does help. Okay, we're gonna just go right here. I'm gonna kind of get his eyebrows just a little bit. Even though we're gonna do a stencil on it, it will just kind of uplift them a little bit. Every weekend, 6 to 7 games. Ooh. Yeah, I thought we were going to do that. Briley really took a liking to it, but then when COVID happened, she kind of just fell out of it, and we kept trying to convince her to join back again, and she just wanted nothing to do with it. But Haley, my youngest, has been begging, but she's a little bit rusty. They had practice, so Wednesday they had practice, and it was canceled because it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. So Friday they had practice again, but we're told, but it kind of started getting where the weather may or may not have worked, but it ended up holding out. The weather held out, so she was able to get a practice in. So we were more than excited there. And so yeah, she's had her second practice, but she was rusty. She played for about 2 years, and then COVID happened, and then we moved. Well, they had finished signing up for the city softball, and so we missed getting her signed in for last year. And he had fall registration really early too. They closed it in March. Well, we didn't move. We got here, pretty much 1st of March. So I think just through everything, how you miss things. And so anywho, we missed out on doing ball. So she's been 2 years without it, poor thing. So she is a little rusty, but I was noticing by the end of practice, she was catching the balls again, and she's doing it. It's kind of like riding your bike, I feel like, right? Kind of comes back to you. I'm just grabbing a little bit more of this ivory. I underestimated how much I would need. So, there we go. Just getting his big old feet. I wanted him to be his feet to be huge. I thought it looked so funny and silly. Made him look a little cute. When you see the drawings, most of the time they have the bunny's feet just big. And I love it. I think that's what I get drawn to the most when you see clip arts and stuff like that. At least the ones that I'm drawn to. You can see the off-white now? Okay, perfect. So if you can see how it just kind of gives that more dimension to it. And then, we'll outline it as well, but it really does kind of pull those tones more of what we need. Okay, and we're going to be using a lot of just a little bit of color. So for the most part, I'm not going to be pouring too much tonight. Hey Brenda, how are you? So this is Bamboo. I just started with this color and I've been really liking it. But I thought it gave that nice sugar cookie color. So this is, I believe, a 1/4 angle brush. It's very well loved. So it is, the markings have kind of washed away, but I believe it's a 1/4 angle. So I'm just using my lid that has the paint in it to get this. This Bamboo is also a really good cover, or it has really good coverage. So we're just kind of getting the outside of the cookie right now. this will start looking more where you can see what's kind of going on. I know when I paint it white and then kind of stick to a white tone, it's hard to see on the camera. Okay. So just smoothing out, going the other direction here. We're just getting the other side of this cookie edge, and then we'll put the pink frosting. Pink frosting with, of course, sprinkles. Clean that up just a little. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. Hey Sherry, how are you? So you guys, yesterday I had the pleasure of going down and helping Lori with her new laser and her employee, and well, me and my husband and the kids did, the girls. And anywho, they had so much fun. And Lori's warehouse, her new one, oh my gosh, because I seen her last one, but her new one, it is ginormous. And I got to sneak over and see the studio that she's going to be opening, and they are doing such a good job. It looks so good. I'm so excited for her. I just realized his hand I didn't paint. I'll have to remember to get that with some white in a minute. Okay. Clean that edge up. Okay. Let me hit this with the gun real quick, the heat gun. Heat guns should always be used on low setting and not stay in one spot too long, okay? Because if you do so, it will bubble your paint, okay? The coverage is good, but I can still see some strokes, so I'm going to hit this just one more quick second with just one more coat of this, and we should be good. So anybody that's coming to the retreat, you guys are going to be so excited to see it. They've worked their butts off. Did such a fabulous job. All right. Okay. Hey, Case, how are you, girlfriend? All right, so that was bamboo that we used. Next color I'm going to use is, it's called Think Pink. And you know what? I am going to pour this one. I'm doing great, girl. This one has a pretty good coverage as well. Okay, and this one, 3/8 angle, we're going to use for pretty much most of this. I'll get my spill here. All right, so this is the little cute little nose here. Yes, his little buck teeth are popping out too. He is excited to get into that cookie. Are your kids on spring break, Case? All right, so now we're gonna get the frosting of our delicious Loft House cookie. If you've never had them, they're amazing. My kids beg for them every time we go to Walmart. And then this Think Pink, the paint that I'm using, it is really good. I think we'll only need one tone, or one coat on this one as well. Started last Thursday. Ooh. Yeah, my girls were last week. I was more than excited that they went to school. It's just hard keeping routine. I love them home, but then I also hate it at the same time. Because they fight. My kids fight. My girls fight. Bicker about everything. Okay, there's our little frosting there. I know, right? When we moved to Chicago, it never ended up being around Easter, so it used to drive me nuts too. And I kind of feel like spring breaks, when they're before Easter, you're just asking for snow and for cold. I mean, it snowed for ours, whether we were in DC or not. I mean, it snowed here too, even though we were in DC, but it was just a cold weekend for everybody, it sounded like. All right, last of our ears here. Who else's grandkids have or haven't started spring break yet? Got a little bit extra paint over here, so I'm just kind of pulling it in so we don't have a mound of paint. See, I told you every time. I think like it's like, oh, spring break, let's snow. Let's be miserable so the kids stay inside. And like at this point, your kids just want to be out, so it makes it hard, I feel like. Okay, just double checking. I got like a little spot right there. But our coats look good, so I'm gonna leave it. Of course, I got way too much paint again. But it is a-okay. We'll hurry and sneak it in the bottle. All right. This is a pretty fast one tonight, y'all. There is a lot of detailing though. Okay. So what I am going to do is we're going to hurry and get the blue so we can do the blue speck or sprinkles, gosh, and I'm going to do his eyes real quick. Because his eyes are going to have black at the bottom, I'm going to worry about the top, and then the black will cover the bottom. So if we go out of line, it's perfectly normal. The black will cover it. I typically for this one don't really try too much besides the top part with their eyes because I know my black is going to cover. And it makes it a little bit easier when you're painting because then you don't have to do such a small little line and keep yourself in there. So blue is done. Voila. And when I say that, you guys can see I went way over the line there, right? Now my camera's not going to want to focus. Ah! Come back. Hold on, I'll get it to focus again in a second. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I've got my liner brush. This is, actually no, I want the 5/0 spotter brush. It's a little bit thicker than the 0-1 that I use for, or the 0-10 that I use for detail lining. Just a titch bigger. And we're just going to randomly add some sprinkles. All right, I think, yep, that looks good. I'm gonna leave that. Montana last night. Oh, I'm so excited. Hopefully it was a good trip though. Okay, I'm gonna grab our yellow next. Maybe. Ooh, these lids. This yellow is like, I should have grabbed another bottle and I didn't realize. Okay, you're gonna be really scraping. Okay. That's what I get for not checking my bottles. All right. We're gonna do a little yellow here. We'll go right about here. And I feel like we need one like maybe right here. There we go. One right here. There we go. Looks good. I might come back with the other colors. Hey Shantae, how are you, hon? All right, fuchsia is next. Go right here with one, maybe right here. And I'll snag this one. Okay. How are you doing, Shantae? Okay, lime green is next on our color palette. Or electric lime, I'm sorry. Kind of the same thing. I think I'm gonna go here. I'll maybe grab right here. And we'll do those. Purple, we'll throw one right here. Hey Teresa, how are you? Yeah, I'd love to do an initial for you, no problem. Just send me a message. Okay, GP purple is next. Maybe. These lids, you guys, it's because I paint inside the lid caps. And we'll go right here. Maybe one right there. And one right here. Okay. That cookie looks yummy. Okay. Believe it or not, we're almost done. All right, we are gonna go with white next, and I'm actually just gonna use the white that I have left in our tray from when we were shading. Or, why am I saying white? I need black. Goodness, it's been one of those days. It's always one of those days for me, I feel like. Okay, come on, black. Okay, so with black, I'm not really, oh, I am painting one thing. I gotta paint his little eyes real quick. So let me grab my angle brush real quick. This is that 1/4 angle brush that I am using. Oh my goodness, I have got to replace my brushes. They're getting so bad. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to go right over where I showed you guys that I went way over with the blue of his eyes. But it's going to cover with this black. That's why I wasn't too worried. And it just makes it easier to hurry and get that line of blue with his eyes. Let me grab right here. Okay. All right. Craziness. There we go. All right. I'm going to get that little spot in between that you can see of his eyeball and the cookie. I'm going to get that with the detail brush. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some water. Hold on. We're going to be here all day if I do that. Okay. Grab the back of my brush. Move this guy over so you guys can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to mix in the water with the paint. It's going to kind of look soupy at first, and then it will thicken up real quick. But it's still kind of creamy. So it's not as thick as the paint, but it's just a little bit more watered down. This makes it easier to do those detail lines and everything else, okay? All right. And then when you're doing details, you want to try and stay in the middle and then work out. This is kind of still wet, so I'm going to kind of try on this side a little bit more and then work over to the cookie part, okay? You have such a mess. Oh no. What's going on, girly? So I'm just kind of cleaning up my nose from the brush a little bit because I wasn't super clean with that brush. Okay. Now with eyelashes, you're going to just kind of flick out. Go right around the nose here. Okay. Going around his eye. And then I will show you the flicking one more time with how we do the eyelashes. Okay, so you're going to start at one point and then you're going to kind of just use your wrist and kind of let it flip out. That way you get those little nice fine little pieces at the end, kind of how your eyelashes do. Oh no, ribbon everywhere. Oh goodness, rearranging. Woo, good luck, girl. I have to say, downsizing was good because, you know, I downsized to move here, but it's starting to pack back up. I'm like, how did this happen so fast? Okay, same thing with the whiskers. Like the eyelashes. Okay, and then for these eyelashes, they're mostly hidden, but I'm gonna just kind of go just a little bit right there. So you can see that they're kind of matching on both sides. All right, look at his cute little chin. I'm gonna give a little zigzag right here. And we'll keep going on. Now when I do outlining around the very edge, I kind of just bring my outlines in just a little bit. It kind of, once again, gives you more dimension with your eye. So it's not looking like one solid piece, okay? And it makes it easier. Oh, I get you. Yeah, then you kind of got to, huh? Well, and you've been working so much, I'm sure that it's just kind of overwhelmed itself. All right. I'm gonna get around this ear. Okay. All right, we were starting to drag right there. I should have just picked up my brush. So clean that up. We're gonna go right around his eyebrow. I grab his other eyebrow real quick before I get paint everywhere. I flicked my paintbrush at the end. That's where you saw that paint go flipping a little bit, so we just hurried and fixed it. No biggie. And then I think we'll do a little zigzag there on his ear. Okay. We're gonna give a little zigzag here. Now, like I have said before, if you've watched me for a while, I like doing the little zigzags. It's just kind of like my little signature that I do. But you can do polka dots, you can do lines. You don't even have to do it. To me, it just kind of gives a little more dimension, a little more fun to my piece. So that's why I do it. But if you don't care for it, you don't have to. There really is no rules in painting besides have fun. And don't stress yourself and don't overthink it. Because that's a lot of the time why people have problems with painting, is they're overthinking it too much. It will start just coming more and more natural and fun for you guys, I promise. How's my shoulder doing? So I'm doing physical therapy twice a week now. Goodness, is it expensive. $50 every time I go for a copay. Eek. But it's going really well. he is definitely making me work, but it's good. I am starting to feel my strength coming back more and more. I did have some swelling yesterday when I was with Lori. I had vacuumed and mopped my downstairs, which is something that I wasn't able to do for a while because it was been hurting so bad. And I, you know, being the person that I am, I way overdid it. I probably should have just vacuumed and stopped with that, but you know, it's me. And so anywho, I paid for it on Sunday. It was really sore. It was swollen pretty bad again. But today it's doing better. And I have physical therapy tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll be dead arm again, but it is getting so much better. I've noticed even with holding things, I'm not dropping things as much anymore. I do think that it was definitely the nerves in the rotator cuff along with the tear. I definitely know I'm not 100% better, but I'm starting to feel better, so I'm glad for that. I don't have to take my nightly medicine as much, but I still have to take my anti-inflammatory like all the time. If I don't, it instantly swells up. So, but things are looking in the better direction. And then on the 14th, I have to go back to my surgeon or the shoulder doctor, and we'll do another evaluation and kind of go from there on determining what needs to happen. But I'm thinking as of right now, I think we're okay. I'm feeling more confident that maybe I won't have to do surgery, which I'm really hoping I don't have to do. I really don't want to. I don't think anybody wants to do surgery though, right? Alright, so we're almost done with the detail lining. And then I've gotten asked this before, how much I'm putting on. And you can see it's just a little itty bitty bit that I'm putting on that brush. And I know that the camera just got unfocused, but I promise, oh, it went fast. It really does. And like, I get discouraged because Brian's out doing our raised flower bed right now, and the typical me would be out there working right alongside him. And so it's driving me crazy because it's taking forever for it to get done. But we've had a lot going on too. But I feel like if I was out there, we would have gotten it done better, you know, sooner. So I'm learning to have patience and to not do all the things like I typically do and try to do and then get frustrated. So trying not to hurt myself. But like I said, just even vacuuming, I shouldn't have mopped. I know I shouldn't have. But I wasn't even able to do that. I haven't been able to pick up a vacuum and vacuum in months. So since the initial injury, it was too painful. So I'm excited to be able to see some improvement. Look how cute he is. Ooh, I caught him in the camera. All right, so we're gonna go with white now. I'm gonna use our white real quick here. There's not too much white that I'm going to do just because our project is already pretty white. But we're just going to give our frosting a little bit of a glow. Because, you know, highlighting really does. It makes your project. I'm going to give the ears just a little bit. Maybe a small little zig right there. We are going to come in and add some blush to it. We could do shading, but I really like that blush look sometimes, especially with the white. Yes, I have definitely been icing and heating. In the topical, icy hot is my best friend at nighttime. For sure. I know, I hate being on the anti-inflammatories because I have a bad stomach. So it's not my jam for sure. Okay, so I'm going to just use, actually, yes, I am. I'm going to use the back of my brush real quick, and we're going to give him some highlights for his eyes. So a little dot right there, and then we're just going to come back down with the dot of my brush. Same thing, but we're going to go opposite. And there we go. We got his cute little eyes. Thank you, Shantae. Oh, I am so excited. Don't you just want his cookie? And now I'm craving a cookie, guys. I don't need any. I've been trying to be good. All right, so same thing with blush. We're just gonna rub, get just a little bit on here. And I'm just gonna get right here with his belly. And we can kind of rub it in with our fingers just a little. And that's gonna give, yep, you guys can't see. Okay. That's just gonna kind of give his little belly some extra cuteness. We're gonna go right here with his whiskers. Okay. Can you guys see that one? I can't. Might have rubbed too much off. Now, the longer this sits, the oils from the makeup are going to get into the paint and it will sit in there. When you spray it, it will stay on. It's not going to bleed or anything like that. That is why I love using blush sometimes, is because even with shading, sometimes you just don't get that effect like doing the blush can do. And then this is, like I said, super cheap blush that we're using. It's just from the dollar store. My favorite color, I've picked up a few, but this Sweet Cheeks from LA Color is by far my favorite. To use. There we go. All right. I think I'm gonna just add just a titch right here on his feet. Just on his little pads here. Okay. I'm gonna put this up so that you guys can see. You really can't see the pink. I can see it, but you probably can't. But you can see definitely his belly, his little cheeks, and then you can really see his ears kind of shine through a little bit. Isn't that fun? All right. I was hoping our white would dry a little bit more on his eyeballs, so we'll just have to be careful when we go for glitter. Okay, so Mod Podge again. A lot of people have asked me why I don't use the big bottles, and it's just because I like the smaller bottles for control a little bit more. I just grab them from the dollar store. He's so cute. Thank you, Betty. I appreciate that. Okay. Sorry, I had to grab a drink. Woo. All right. Mod Podge brush. I mean, this brush is beat up, but don't use the good ones. Let me grab a glitter piece of paper. This is just parchment paper. Make sure you don't use wax because it will hold on to everything. Computer paper will work. It just doesn't, it's not as slick, so sometimes it just doesn't get all of it as well as the parchment does. Okay, let me make sure we are dry. Okay, so now I'm just going to go right over our cute little frosting here. grab in here. Do. Okay. All right. Our yummy, cute glitter. Okay. I'm gonna push it this way. Oh my gosh, that's so freaking cute. I'm so excited. Okay, so now the embossing tools. Dollar store embossing tool, or you can buy them off of Amazon too. They have different sizes when you go from there. I'm actually going to use the bigger size. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of removing a little bit of the glitter where the sprinkles are. And it does come off pretty quick. The reason why I'm doing that is it does kind of make, when you add the glitter, it kind of dulls out the paint a little bit. So if you don't mind it, that's totally fine. You can leave it. Even the highlight you can do a little bit too. And it just makes it a little bit more bold. So I'm just kind of getting where the little highlight is, not doing too crazy. Look how cute that is. I'm excited. Okay, so you can see him this way. And then let me pull this. There you go. You can see him there. And then I will pull him the other way. And you can see him that way. I'm so excited. He's so cute. Doesn't it? I totally think it does. It kind of just makes it so that you can see those sprinkles a little bit better. And really, you can't tell, even like, I wish I could show you. You can't tell even with the glitter when I've scratched it off. You can't tell. Now, if I had scratched it off after the Mod Podge was dry, you would have problems. But this way, it's not going to. It just kind of balls up. And so there you go. You can see the blush totally. You can see the glitter. You can see how taking that off makes those sprinkles show up. You can see a little bit. You can't really see the pink on his feet. I swear it's on there. It's just not wanting to show. There, maybe a little bit. So, I'm so excited with him. I had fun drawing him, so. All right, you guys, you have a wonderful night. I have Cricut class tomorrow at 7 o'clock, so I will see y'all there. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sherry, Brenda, and Shantae, and Betty. I appreciate y'all hanging out. And Teresa, if you're still watching, hey, and Casey as well. But you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow. Sorry it was, oh, wow, I got done super early. But anywho, I guess it's better than my hour and a half ones, right? All right, guys, talk to you later. Have a great night.